after my accident, it took me about a year to learn how to walk again and talk again, and like everything from zero. And when I started running, it was the same. The parallel is probably consistency, but also like mindset, to never give up. You never regret a run, even if it's like windy and stormy outside. You feel so good afterwards. You get that runner's high. So I think that's the similarity between the two, that you never give up and stay consistent. Hi, my name is Masoud and I'm a renegade. Hej, mitt namn är Masoud och jag är en renegade.
Imagine this. You're 17, stepping into what should be just another night out, music, friends, and the electric promise of youth. Then, in an instant, everything changes. Flames erupt, chaos, smoke, screams, a fire that claims 63 young lives and leaves dozens more forever scarred, physically, emotionally. You're pulled from that inferno, burned over much of your body, fighting for breath and every inch of survival. And somehow, amid that unimaginable hell, you're found running, not away in panic, but in raw, instinctive motion towards life itself. Years pass, surgeries, rehab, the long, quiet war with pain, trauma, and the question of who you're going to be now. Most would understand if the story ended right there, in survival. But not Masoud. Instead, he chooses something radical. He laces up, he steps out, he turns the very scars that once confined him into fuel for forward motion. Running becomes his reclamation, his therapy, his proof that the body and spirit can rebuild beyond what anyone thought possible. Today on the Renegade Podcast, we sit down with Masoud Owji, a burn survivor who refuses to let tragedy define the finish line. He's not just chasing personal bests, he's pursuing one of the most toughest quests in endurance, completing all 6 world major marathons, with Boston his final journey this April. Each one a testament that pain can be transformed into power, that rock bottom can become the launch pad for something extraordinary. To everyone listening, whatever fire you walk through, whatever weight you're carrying, know this: it's not the end of your story. It's the raw material for your most powerful chapter yet. Grateful for this conversation. Grateful for you, Masoud. Keep running towards that light. Welcome to another episode of the Renegade Podcast. Each episode, we explore what it means to run, to be a runner, and we have the best guests that join us that we can each learn from. I'm Todd, and with me is
Uncle Mark. How you doing today, Todd?
I'm doing all right today.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're having. The listeners don't necessarily know this, but we're having a morning podcast this morning. So if our voices are a little bit deeper, it's because we're having some wonderful coffee instead of our typical athletic or hyena or however other many non-alcoholic brews we tend to sip during the podcast. So anyway, top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. Cheers. I'm drinking some Red Lantern coffee in my favorite ultra running magazine mug that we got from Amy Clark when she joined us on an earlier episode to talk about ultra running magazine. And this is a great cup because it keeps the coffee nice and hot. And Red Lantern coffee from Kingsville, Ontario is fantastic. Masoud, I think it was November 2024. We were both in New York City, and we were heading to Staten Island to run the New York City Marathon. And the backstory that I had was I usually run the big major marathons with one of my buddies. We always travel, but I was by myself this race. And I leave the hotel and I'm super nervous. So I head down to the subway and the subway opens up. I hop on a pretty crowded subway car and I come across yourself. And I could tell that you were maybe a little bit nervous too. We were both pretty nervous. You know, it's scary New York City. And we started having a great conversation, and I learned a little bit about your story. For the Renegade listeners, and welcome to the podcast, Masoud, can you take us back and help us understand, for those who don't know your story yet, take us back to, I think it was 1998, and you were just 17, and you experienced a fire that challenged and changed everything for you?
Yeah, of course. So this was back in 1998, as you said, and I was just a 17-year-old kid, going to high school. And one weekend we were going to a party with some friends, and that developed into like a major fire, and it was like global news at the time. I think 63 young people died at that catastrophe, as you call it, and I was one of the survivors. I was had burns all over my body, and actually I was like sedated for probably 2 months, and so I was like basically in an induced coma for 2 months. And yeah, I lost like one third of my body mass because I didn't move for 2 months. I was just in bed, and then like a uh, big challenge started to be able to like sit up and walk again and talk again and like do everything from zero, and yeah, it took probably about a year to be able to walk again, and then like many years to find some form of normality in life, and then finding running, that also like changed my life again, for the third time or fourth time or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I do lectures that I go into detail and I talk about like every step, and talk for 2 hours about that. But yeah, it was like a really rough period of my life, and I got through it basically by having like a lot of close friends and family supporting me, and yeah, that changed into something positive for me. And yeah, living life, loving life, and try to run marathons.
And I can imagine too. Do you remember some of those milestones where it's just like, yes, I've now, whether it's your journey for relearning how to walk and all those pieces and steps in there, do those stand out in your mind too? Each part of that journey in order to get through recovery or get to recovery. They stand out, or is it now kind of way in the back end, and you have all these other accomplishments now, including the majors that you are starting to run or have been running? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they stand out in the way that I speak about it. I do public
Mm-hmm.
speaking and stuff like that, but it's not in my daily life. It's like it's more than 27 years ago. It's
Yeah.
crazy that it's been so far back, and I sometimes I watch something, and I I watched like, yeah, I'm just like, think about time. It's been, I've done so much stuff since that, so it doesn't really stand out. But I mean, it's, of course, there's like, I remember the first time I took my first steps. I mean, that stands out in a way, but it's like, it's so far back.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
it's interesting to think about. Like, you're right. When things happen in the past and time passes by, we remember differently. Maybe we just don't look back, or we look back. But you know what I found super interesting about your running story, Masoud, is you are a really great marathoner. You're running some great times. And what I love about it, you're not taking the easy way during these marathons. You're recording the pre marathon, the marathon. So you're putting extra effort and extra stress into the already stressful event. When did you first find running?
I've been running all my life. When I was younger as well, I did like track running and track and field and stuff like that when I was really young, like 14, 15. But I think it was probably, after my injury and coming back to like, as I said, some form of normal life. I started dreaming about, because in my hometown of Gothenburg in Sweden, we have the biggest half marathon in the world. At some point, it was like 50 or 60,000 participants, and it was the biggest. And you know, I always was on the sidelines watching people run it every year, and I think it was about 2011 that I was like, damn, I probably have to run this. It looks so fun, you know. And I started training for it. I injured myself. I couldn't do it. And then I started working and doing something else. And then after a few years, it was 2019 that I was like, I have to do this. I'm 39. You know, it was like I had to get started. So I started training for the half marathon in 2019, and you know, it was probably the most fun thing. Excited. I mean, it was so amazing. The energy from the sides, you know, the public who cheer you on. I mean, you know, I traveled all around the world and done so many things, but this was so special. It was like I couldn't even explain it in words. It was so exciting that I said I have to do this again. I probably have to run a marathon now, you know. So yeah, so I started thinking about it and training for it and planning it out because I knew that if I'm gonna do it for real, I have to prepare like really for it. So yeah, I started training a lot, and yeah, finally, I think it was in 2020 during the pandemic. I did my first like virtual marathon with some friends, and yeah, it started there, and then
And then the
yeah,
running bug caught you, and you've been running ever since. But let's go back to that 2019. You signed up for your first half marathon. You
yeah.
shared that you trained and you planned for it, which is better than most runners. Said, you know, most runners are just going to show up and just run around. Walk us through like that first kind of training plan. Did you follow a plan? Uh,
Yeah, I actually didn't follow any plan because you know, I searched a little bit, you know, but I was like, you know, I just have to do it. I actually quit my job, you know, to have all the time in the world. And I remember I just going to the gym and run on the treadmill for like 5K or I guess 3 miles or whatever. And then I went home and like waited for like 1 week. And then I went back to the gym and did 5K again. And then I started doing that every week for 3 or 4 weeks. And then I said, okay, I need to increase. So I did that twice a week. And, you know, did that twice a week. And after a few weeks, I did that 3 times a week. This was actually in January where I started. And I signed up for the race that was in May. So in March, I ran 3 times a week, about 5 kilometers. And I mean, it felt good. And in March, you know, the weather changes and spring comes and you start running outside. And so I started increasing the mileage, like 1 kilometer each week. So I did 2 5 kilometers, and the third one I did like 6, and then I did 7, and I increased it. And I guess I read about it, so I didn't follow a plan, but I made my own plan, you know. And soon, I mean, pretty soon, I was running 10, 12K, and felt really good. And about like a month before the half marathon, I went out for like a short run, and it was great weather, and I just changed my route. And suddenly I've been running for like 21K or the half marathon. And it took a really long time, but you know, mentally I already completed it. And it was a month before the race. So I just kept running and training the same way I had ran before, and then I ran the half marathon, and yeah.
The Renegade is proud to be sponsored by Thrive Protein. Power your runs and fuel your endurance with Thrive Protein, the premier Canadian-made supplement brand crafted for endurance athletes. This family-owned brand uses a science-based approach to develop high-quality electrolytes, a carbon electrolyte powder, creatine, vegan protein powders, whey protein, and super greens. And they are constantly innovating. Recently brought to market EnduraFuel, hydration and fuel all in one. Each serving offers 30 grams of carbs in a 2-to-1 ratio of glucose to fructose. You also get the sodium, potassium, calcium, and the magnesium, replenishing all the elements that you're sweating out during your efforts. It gives your body the energy it needs to perform at its peak. Plus, the lemonade flavor tastes amazing. Thrive is perfect for any athlete chasing any distance. Visit thriveprotein.ca and use the code RENEGADE for 20% off your order. Thrive Protein. Fuel your relentless pursuit of adventure.
Masoud, the ongoing thing with our podcast is that I have still yet to run a race. So I come from the perspective of the newer runners and the runners that sometimes dip in and out of running consistently and regularly. So I have finally signed up for my first race. It's not a big one. It's just a 5K. But who knows? Maybe it could potentially grow after that. At that point. But it's just really getting back into the swing of it. And it was very similar to your story there, where it's just started running the 5Ks regularly, and then I think my goal is to add a kilometer each, whether every couple of weeks. But the great thing is I've taught as a resource here, and all of the folks that have joined the podcast over the last couple of years too as well. That's fed into some coaching advice and that. So I definitely thank you for sharing that, and hopefully I can get myself to the starting line of that race and I don't back out.
Oh, you'll get there, Mark. We'll get Mark there. But Masoud, you know what I found when you're describing how you progressed and grew your running base, you did it in a really sustainable fashion, and you did it the right way. A lot of newbies will come in and say, I'm going to do 5K every single day. And then next week, I'm going to do 6K every single day. And by week 3, they're done. So I like that, because I think that bodes to your running journey and how you've grown from half marathons into the marathons, into the major marathons. So walk us through your first marathon. So you did your half marathon journey. You're like, that's it. I'm going to take that next step up. What was that next step?
I'm just gonna just something. After the first half marathon, I took like a month off from running, and then I did that mistake. I started running 5K every day.
Okay.
And like after 20 days, I basically had an injury on my calf, so I had to stop running for a few weeks again. So I did that mistake, but at the later stage. But the thing was, I decided to prepare for a marathon. I even changed my handle on Instagram to Destination Marathon, to let everybody know that this is the journey, And so this was in late 2019, and so in 2020, I also had my 40th birthday. So I did that. I did this. I planned to run 40 races during 2020. 5K races, 10K races, half marathons, and other races, just as the preparation for the marathon. Like baby steps and incremental goals to achieve like great base. So in the beginning of 2020, I was already signed up like 36 races, and did a few races. And then in March of 2020, the pandemic hit, and all races was canceled. I'm like, oh my God. It was like, it was really, really devastating. But I changed up. I was like, okay, I am the first weekend that the pandemic hit, I was actually planned to run a half marathon on ice in Norway, and it's like on a frozen lake. And so I thought to myself, all right, I'm just going to go out and run a half marathon as training. So I continued the running, and I did all the races like virtually. And in late that year, talked to a friend of mine. He was like, maybe you're ready. Maybe you should try, you know. And we plan to do a virtual marathon, and we draw a route in town and start running, you know. And after about 35 kilometers, we were running, you know, and I said, everybody talks about the wall. Where is it? And then it hit, you know. As soon as I said it
sneaks
hit.
up on you.
Yeah. Where is it? It's right here. But yeah, but we ran. We were like probably five friends who ran different segments. One of my friends ran the whole way, and other friends like ran different segments with us, and it was amazing to like finally been doing the first marathon. But after that marathon, I was laying in a pool for like 5 hours. I couldn't. I was wrecked.
I bet. And I have to ask too, when preparing to run on a frozen lake, how different is the equipment or shoes that you're using for that? Or is it like, how are you wearing skates? I'm just kidding. But like, do you have to wear, consciously think about wearing different kind of shoes and that for something like that?
Yeah. You run with like specialized shoes with spikes. I mean, I have shoes for ice running, and it's has like carbon spikes, like I think 15 spikes on each shoe, and you get like really good grip. And I mean, it's probably the flattest marathon you ever run. I did the half marathon actually a few years later because it was canceled. But yeah, you can do like a half or the full marathon, and it's on ice. It's like a frozen lake, so it's the flattest marathon in the world. And it feels really like an asphalt because it's hard, and it's I mean, if it's good conditions, which it were when I ran the half, it was like -1 degrees. It's like perfect conditions. So
Wow.
yeah.
And you're not hearing, cracking in the distance or anything like that, are you?
No, I mean, you see cracks in the ice, but that particular lake, that's so thick ice, and they do like car tests on that lake, so it's very safe.
So you're good, yeah.
Well, for our listeners, Masoud is basically from a brother country of ours. We're from Canada. Masoud, you're from Sweden. It's cold probably most of the year, just like us. The sun shines out today. Maybe spring is around the corner, but help us understand what's the weather like in Sweden for you to train as a runner, and how do you go about running and keeping your base up and training through long, cold, dark winters in Sweden, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's most runners, like, I mean, it depends on how hardcore you are or how much you run, but I learned to love like winter running, and so I love it, and it just an extra layer, and you're basically fine. And sometimes you need to have shoes to fit the like ice, but yeah, I usually run like in the midday because I don't like really to run in the dark. And I remember like a few years ago, I was living in the north of Sweden, and there you get like 2 or 3 hours of sun every day in the winter. And I remember like every day is like, oh my God, it's 12 o'clock. I have to go out and run. Go out for a lunch run, And but on the flip side, in the summer, you have like 22 hours, 23 hours of sun. And I guess you have the same in
right.
Canada. Yeah.
Yep. Not as well. If we go a little bit further north, we'll get that many hours of daylight. So that means in the summertime, there's no excuse, Masoud. You got to be out training because the sun's out all the time. So I love it. Maybe that's the secret. But I'm going to go back to this marathon and half marathon on the lake, because this might be the next race for us here. So do you remember the name of the race? I'll put it in the show notes because the flat, like this is what I'm looking for, flat and cold. This might be the thing I've been waiting for.
Yeah, it's called the Frozen Lake Marathon, and it's in the end of March. So yeah, sign up. It's in a month.
Get there, Todd. You got some vacation time, right? That you can work in there.
Oh yeah. Yes, for sure.
That's excellent. And so
Maybe next year we can do it together.
I think so. Let's jot that down, because I'm always looking for a next adventure, and I've never been to Sweden, and it's always good to go and meet a running buddy and hang out. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So the Frozen Lake Marathon it's in Norway, but it's like a neighboring country,
No, okay.
and I think we have two other like ice marathons here in Sweden as well. It's a little bit earlier in the year, like February or something, but one of them is like probably 60% of the way is on ice. The rest is like a little bit elevation, but yeah, the one in Norway is like all on ice, is on one big lake, is on a plateau, and yeah, it's really thick ice. So it's great.
Well, I'll ask you a question about this then, Masoud. So you can train in the winter. I'm like you. I love to train when it's cold. What's better? Do you like to train in the winter or the summer? What do you prefer?
Uh, you know, it's a really hard question to answer because for me, running is just like a lifestyle choice, and I do running to not to like run a fast marathon. I run to be able to feel good in my body and my mind, and so it doesn't really matter. But I don't really like to run when it's like really hot in the summer. Um, but nah, I would say springtime running is best. Yeah, so somewhere in between.
And what does a typical week look like for you right now? I know that you mentioned earlier when you were starting to get rolling, it was the 5Ks, once a week and a couple times a week and that. But now, as a seasoned runner, what do you do to keep your physique, and what does a typical week look like for you?
So right now, I've been doing a challenge because I'm running the Boston Marathon in April, and I have to fundraise for the Stepping Strong Center for Trauma Care. So I implored all my followers to like pledge to donate whatever they can for every kilometer I run during February. And I plan to run 400 kilometers during February. That means you have to run about 14 and a half kilometers a day. And I actually ran like 402 kilometers in February. So that's about like 100 kilometers each week. That means like, I think 60 miles a week or something. And it was really hard because I really felt it in my knees a little bit. But going forward, I think I would do probably about 40 to 50 miles a week um, until the Boston Marathon, and hopefully I can get those like key running sessions in to be able to do a PR, if that's possible.
Well, I think you're trending in the right direction for a PR. That's for sure. Runners, your gear is holding you back. If you're struggling with chafing, useless pockets, and materials that feel too technical and just don't keep up with your training, let me introduce you to Path Projects, offering a complete line of gear and apparel built by runners, for runners, and today's modern endurance athletes that want to perform, train hard, and look damn good doing it. Say goodbye to chafing with Path's independent suspension design. They've separated the baseliner from the short, virtually eliminating all the rubbing and movement that traditional running shorts have. A simple design feature that makes all the difference. Less movement plus performance fabrics equals no burn, no chafing, no hot shower screams. My all-time Path favorite, their best-selling Graves PX running short built with Toray Prime Flex has a great feel while being extremely durable and has an unbelievable amount of storage. I've been able to carry gels, my iPhone, my car keys, and even hang a clip-on water bottle off the waist. And they're built to last. Path's Tahoe CL baseliners offer an all-season performance. The cool light mesh is for the extremists. A bird's eye mesh fabric that is ultra light, super wicking, and insanely breathable. Comfort means everything. And they offer personalized performance. With Path baseliners, you have the choice of 2 fabrics and 4 lengths, 3, 5, 8 inch, and full length, which allows you to dial in a baseliner based on the current weather condition and your personal preference. And with the Path's Graves PX shorts, you have the choice of 2 fits, classic and relax, and 2 lengths, which give you the flexibility to match your short to the effort. With the right gear from Path, you can focus on your effort and getting after it. Check them out, pathprojects.com, and you can use the code TRP10 for 10% off your order for a limited time. So let's explore this for our listeners. You are going for your 6th star in Boston in April. What was your first major? What was the first one you ran?
So my first major was in Berlin, 2024, and I was kind of injured. My what's it called? Not quads, but the back of my leg.
The hamstring.
Hamstrings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I exactly. I had an injury in my right hamstring, so I couldn't really push. Like it hurt really bad, but I was already signed up for it, and I couldn't like. I was like, I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm just gonna run through it, and yeah, it was good. I ran about 4 hours and 44 minutes or something. So that was the first one, and it was perfect conditions, like 15 degrees Celsius, no wind. It was amazing. It was really amazing. Yeah.
And what has been your favorite major to date? Like just in terms of overall, weather-wise, and then conditions, and just the overall route. Do you have one that stands out so far to date?
I mean, all of them are really great, but I was injured in Berlin. I was injured in New York. I also had like camera issues in New York after like on the bridge, like on the first few miles. I was like, I dropped the camera, it broke, and I was like, I have to run with the broken camera.
No.
And it was crazy. And then in Japan was the next one. I had like a big blister. I have a picture of it. I could send it to you.
Yes, we want to see it. Yes.
Yeah. For the viewers that are sensitive, look away. But I had a big. I got like a big blister under my foot, and it was like almost impossible to run. But I was like, I traveled to Japan, to Tokyo. I'm not gonna quit. So I went all the way, and then in London, my hamstring was still not good, but I had this friend that I got to know in Berlin who was also running, so I ran with her and just took it easy. Ate a lot of candy. Had to visit the porta potty like 2 or 3 times during the race. It was crazy. But then I did Chicago last year, and that went like perfectly. The training was great. The preparations were great. The energy intake during the race was great. And so I was planning to do like sub 4, and I did like 3:52. So
wow,
it was like, magical.
Awesome. That's great. Awesome.
And do you take time afterwards just to soak in the city? And what do you build on the back end of your majors there? Just a few days, or do you get back to everyday life back at home?
Well, I try to. I mean, I try to, if it's possible, to stay and experience the city more. In Chicago, I had like an extra week actually ahead of time to enjoy the city and see the sights and do some running and stuff like that. In London, I didn't have that much time. In Tokyo, I had like 2 weeks because
nice.
It's Tokyo.
Yeah.
In Berlin, Berlin, I had a few days also.
I remember you sharing an Instagram video. I'll link it in the show notes. And it was kind of like your summary of each of the major marathons, like what you felt. And I think you said Chicago was windy. And it is. It's very windy.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't windy when I ran, but it's the windy city, so I had to say it. It's like I made this like Berlin is very fast, like New York is very loud, Tokyo with precision, like
That's right.
London is very classy, and yeah, and Chicago is windy, and but yeah, and now the Boston Marathon. So
And now the Boston Marathon. So you've had a great winter training. You're feeling good. And how, tell us about Boston. Like, what have you been thinking about? How you been approaching it? Walk us through your preparation.
that's this is crazy because it's like this is the most. Uh, I mean, it's Boston Marathon. I mean, those who know that this is the race that it's gonna be probably gonna be the best race of my life if everything goes as planned. But I've been like watching all the previous marathons, and I'm trying to prepare for all the hills and stuff. Because Chicago is very flat, but Boston is really hilly. And yeah, I mean, I got the mileage in. I need to get some speed in. I need to get some hill training in. And actually, I met this woman yesterday, and we spoke about the marathon. And she was like, "Don't forget to train to run downhill, because
Mm.
that's as important." I was
Yep.
like, "Yeah, I've thought about that. I've thought about that." But yeah, just get the training in, and the last preparations with the carb loading and stuff like that, and to take the right energy at the right time. Like I use the Morton gels, and those work for me. And yeah, don't do anything else. Like don't eat a lot of candy as I did in
Can't.
London, and. Yeah,
Do you do a big carb load
yeah.
beforehand? Like what's your meal before, or the night before?
It's anything works really, because I mean this will be my 12th marathon, so I've done it a lot of times, and I tried different stuff. But the important thing is to do a lot of carbs, and I usually try to eat twice as much as I normally eat to get like really load up with carbs. And mashed potato, pasta, rice. I mean, anything works. But um, yeah, the important thing is to not eat too late before the marathon, like late afternoon the day before, and then oatmeal usually in the morning. Yeah, fruits, little fruits, stuff like that. But nothing like specific, because anything that is carbohydrates works for me, at least.
And Todd, how
You,
does that compare to your routine when you're prepping for any of these?
it's very similar. And I think Masoud touched on a key element. This is going to be his 12th marathon. So my first marathon, I was probably too overthinking everything and try to do it by science and stress myself out. Now,
Mhm.
like Masoud said, eat what you like to eat. You know what works and doesn't work. And just like the general stuff, yeah, give yourself more time between your last meal and the race, because you know let it digest, so you're not running around with a full gut out there of food sloshing around. Yeah, so I think it just comes with that calm confidence of knowing that you've done it before. But also, like for myself, I'm not trying to win the race. I'm just trying to get to the
Mhm.
finish line to go out for the party after the race and celebrate with the family and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go back to something you mentioned. You take the Marathon during the race. What kind of fueling plan do you follow during your marathon? Like how much carbs are you taking? When do you take them?
Uh, I tried different stuff, of course, during the races, but I just time it to every 30 minutes.
Every 30
I, I
minutes.
take I take I actually do like a Morton the drink mix beforehand. I do one drink mix the night before, and then I do one drink mix in the morning before the race, and then I take like a gel before the race, like 10-15 minutes before, and then I do a gel every 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, and
And
just
that's a good calorie plan and carb plan for sure during a race every 30 minutes, because you're taking probably about 60 grams of carbs per hour then, which is really good, I would think. I
yeah.
I smile because before my first JFK, I did exactly what you did. I had my Maurten the day before. I woke up early. I drank the Maurten drink in the morning, and then I went pee so many times during the first like 10 kilometers. I had to go to the washroom like 4 times. And then someone told me, it was like, you got to have more electrolytes. So my next time I took the precision hydration drink that has more electrolytes in it, and I didn't pee as much. So I don't know. Every time I had that Maurten, next thing you know, I'm hanging out in the washroom way too long, leaving time on the course.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. So again, these are all the learnings that I'm soaking in right now, just so I, know that I'm not. Even though my first run will be quite short, I don't think I'll be running into those kind of issues or anything like that. But my goal is to hopefully expand that a bit further on. So, Masoud, for any kind of advice, I know that I guess actually to go back, are you currently providing any coaching, or are you being coached by anyone? How do you approach that? Do you sounds like you're talking to a lot of individuals who are obviously in the running scene, meeting people all the time, but what's your view on coaching? Are you providing your advice that you've learned from all the different member runs to new runners, and who do you go to for your advice?
Uh, I follow a lot of different professional runners, and I read a lot. I watched a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. But I don't really have a coach because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a professional runner, and I'm not trying to win any races. And as you said, there's like tons of different products to have like incremental gains in your time. You like carbon shoes. You have different drinks that helps you with the lactate. I mean, there's so much, and I mean, if for me, it's not super important to do that. I mean, I tried Morton and it works for me because I really feel the help. I use carbon plate shoes when I run, and and I mean, I coach a few people, not as a professional coach, but like my sister and some friends. And I mean, I also have like a few friends that are really committed runners, and we always talk about different stuff. But
Yeah.
no, I don't really have a coach. But yeah, I have a lot of friends that I discuss different types of training, the threshold training, the Norwegian style, I mean, there's so many different ways to get better in running. But the best thing that I could, as a like a how do you say, to I mean, the best way is to just be running consistently. That's the best way to improve yourself and prepare for a race. Just do it consistently. I mean, period. That's the only thing that really works. And then if you want to beat like world records and stuff like that, then you need to use all the products.
That's right.
Consistency compounds. We hear that a lot. And for the new runners listening, be patient. I know you probably won't hear us. You won't take that advice. But if we could distill one piece of advice for you, it's that it's better to run 1 kilometer every day, 7 days a week, for as long as possible, like consistent, that you're getting in your kilometer. And you might say, it's only 7 kilometers a week. Absolutely. You do that for 3 months, and then you can go to 2 kilometers a week. When you look back after 2, maybe 3 years, because you'll fall in love with running, then you'll be able to do those 10 kilometers every single day, 15 kilometers every single day. But it takes time. Like, you can't just be a newbie runner and out running 10K every day. You can. Masoud, you mentioned that you took about 20 days and the injury bug caught you. Same here. I
Yeah,
think it took me 2 weeks and the injury bug caught me, and it took me 2 years to overcome. And
yeah.
just looking back, it was just being more patient and more consistency. I'm going to go back to something there. You said carbon plated shoes. What are your go-to shoes? What's your favorite shoe?
Oh man. So most of my marathons I've been running with New Balance. I don't know the name. It's the Elite V4, V5 or whatever. It's my fourth one, and those are the ones that works for my feet. My feet are really sensitive, so I tried all different models and brands and stuff like that. Um, Actually, I'm thinking about doing like an ultra marathon probably next year, and I'm gonna try the ultra brand. But yeah, I mean, I do like Saucony for my daily trainer, and I mean, I have too many shoes. It's like
We all
so
do.
crazy.
We love them.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so freaking expensive. Like
Yes.
why? But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I was just scrolling on my phone, and I saw these super sexy shoes, and I just pushed it, and it was like on Temu, the Chinese like fake thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
it cost like $20, I guess. So I was like, I have to try them. So I bought
Give them a
them, and
try.
it was like carbon plated. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they were really bouncy, but my feet didn't like them. I got blisters and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I try anything.
Did they fall apart after the first run? Because you just gave me a great podcast idea for another show. Is like, how many different Timu shoes can we try, and which one will get you through a race with the least amount of blisters, right? But I mean, if you're only spending 30-40 bucks on a pair, hey, just throw them out at the end of the race and you're good to go. We've had some friends from Ultra over the years on the podcast too, as well, and we've got a few different pairs. Well, in the boxes behind me, I don't know if you can see them on the screen right now, but Todd is the one that introduced me to Ultra, and probably have accumulated at least 9 or 10 pairs now. So I do like them; they're so comfortable, and they work. So I'm
You got to
sure they would for
find
you as well.
you got to find the one that works for you, and as you start running more and more, you find what you like and what you don't like. What I found interesting is um, I bought a pair of On running shoes from in New York in 2024. They were not zero drop. They had about 6 millimeter drop. And I started sneaking them into my runs in November and December last year. And then I had like a weird bump show up on the outside of my kind of Achilles tendon. It's just like a nodule or something. And it hurt a little bit. So then I put those aside because I was wearing them like maybe 2 days a week. I went right back to my ultras and the bump went away. So I'm like, okay, the bump went away. I wore another kind of 6 millimeter drop shoe last weekend. The damn bump came back. So I'm an experimental one. So once you find your shoe, what I've learned is, Todd, just stick with your flat shoes. They just work. I don't know. But it's fun to, like, you see the other brands out there and the good colors. And I'm like, I want that shoe. So it is fun. It's the joy of being a runner. But we'll get you some ultra shoes because you mentioned that you're thinking about an ultra. So from marathon to ultra marathon. So what do you have your eyes on?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, really nice races. I mean, I actually saw on your podcast this ultra marathon, the biggest one in was it in somewhere in South Africa, I think.
Oh, the comrades. The comrades is
Yeah,
one. Yes.
yeah, that one I have my eye on. But in Sweden we have this cross country skiing race. It's called Vasaloppet, and it's like 92, 93 kilometers. So it's cross country skiing, but they do it in the summer as an ultra marathon as well,
Okay.
Cool.
92 kilometers, and I hear that it's like a really good route because it's like in the woods, and it's like really nice. The How do you call it? Like, yeah, it's a really nice one. So that's the one I have my eyes on. But there's so many ultra marathons.
Yes. And
Yeah,
they're so fun. They're so fun. It's a different feeling than the marathon. It's like I don't know. Everyone's there just they want to be out for the day in the mountains or in the forest, and it's just a different feeling.
I'm also thinking about maybe doing like a uh, like a backyard ultra, and probably like do it in the north of Sweden in the summer where it's like midnight sun and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe in backyard ultra as well.
Hmm. Those are some good challenges to look up for. And when you
Yeah.
think about challenges, Masoud, when you look back at the challenge that you experienced back in 1998, run the parallels to running. Where are they similar at your running journey? Where are they similar and where are they different? Or how has that challenge that you faced in 1998 helped you become the runner you are?
That's a really good question. I mean, the parallels are probably that you need the consistency to see the improvements. And for me, after my accident, it was, yeah, it took me about a year to learn how to walk again and talk again, and like, everything from zero. And when I started running, it was the same. I started with a really like short distances, and incrementally ran longer and longer, and build the strength, build the base. Yeah, I mean, the parallel is probably consistency, but also like mindset, to never give up. Like, because sometimes it's boring to get out, and like you don't really feel like getting out and run. It's raining, it's windy, but but you get out there because that's what you planned, that's your goal. You know that whenever you're done, you're gonna feel great. You never regret a run, even if it's like windy and stormy outside. You feel so good afterwards. You get that runner's high. And yeah, sometimes you just sit down and you watch your running shoes, and for 20 minutes before you put them on. But you finally put them on and you get out. And that's a mindset, I think. And so I think that's the similarity between the two, that you never give up, and you stay consistent. That's probably the parallel, I think. I don't know.
You're a
I think
shining
that's
example. Yeah, you're a shining example of never giving up and accomplishing big things. That when you put your mind to it, and when you're consistent and you're patient, and you know what, I love your story. I love watching you. I love your videos out there. I know we tried to hook up in London because I was in London with you. I tried to invite you to the one shakeout run that we got in trouble with the London police because too many people showed up. So probably a good thing you didn't show up, because you would have been more stressed out, because I was pretty stressed after that.
Yeah.
But I just love the running community, and just, I don't know, just traveling to these major marathons. I got to ask you this though. So you're gonna knock off Boston. Are you gonna start saving up to head over to Sydney for the 7th star?
That has crossed my mind. And like, one of my best friends, who's also a runner, he says that his dream is to run the Sydney Marathon with me and another friend. So we are like three guys who all run marathons. And yeah, I guess, I mean, and then you have to do like the Cape Town, and then you have to do Shanghai.
just
You're
keep
never gonna
going,
stop.
right?
It just never stops.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I this year I already signed up for Amsterdam later this year.
Okay, Amsterdam. Okay.
So this year I don't need any more. But yeah, I guess, yeah, Sydney, that would be great.
Well, it's on my bucket list too. So I'll keep you posted on that, because maybe we run it together. I'll join you if you want a fourth to run with your crew of 3. So maybe I'll hang out with you.
Hell yeah.
That's great. And one of the things, I know that we're getting to the back end of the time that we have with you this morning here. Well, I know it's morning here in Canada right now, but so running wasn't the only thing that you got into over the last several years, you also got into the creative aspect. So there's film as well. So how has the creativity and being involved in different films just added to your overall recovery and your journey that you've been on for the last several years?
Well, I mean, I actually like before all the running and stuff like that. I studied to be a film producer.
Oh,
So
really?
I did it. I made a few movies, but then I just lost the love for it, and I just quit. I just got on to do other stuff.
Yeah.
So how I got back into it is through like social media and influencing and stuff like that. And yeah, so I just uh, I do my own little short clips about running and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I've done some small acting stuff, and a few years ago, I was in a documentary about robotics and how you can steer like prosthetics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like it was like in Swedish television. They made I was in a research project where they implanted 16 sensors into my lower arm, and also like two titanium screws to route out the sensor the information that the sensor pick up, and so to be able to steer a prosthetic arm. And that actually improved my running like 10-15% or something like that,
Wow.
because when you have like a prosthetic arm and you swing with your arms, you get a little bit more balance, because
Mhm.
I'm amputated just right under my elbow. And yeah, that was something that is, I mean, this is amazing. It's still in research, so they don't do a lot of these types of surgeries, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's amazing to be able to be part of something this that could change lives, and yeah,
Absolutely.
hopefully in the future this could be something that could be more accessible to more people,
And did it
yeah.
take much time to evolve your run when you were fitted with the prosthetic in order to balance things out to see that, 10-15% improvement in your overall efficiency? So was it more immediate, or did you have to also adjust things and it took a period of time to tweak?
Well, it takes uh, a lot of time still improving. I mean, this arm that I have that I use right now, it's too heavy actually. And I
Okay.
had this in Berlin, I had this in New York, uh, I had it in Tokyo, uh, also in London. But I bought. I have to show you this. This this one is like it's a stand for a phone
Yeah. Hmm.
I bought on Temu. And
Team, yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is. I mean, you can't find anything like
Yeah, you
this
can't
in a
find
store.
that. Yeah, I'm surprised you found it
Yeah,
on Temu. I love this.
yeah, but it's like it has like a tripod, and then you have a magnet
Yeah. So you can
um,
adjust your
That's
camera.
great.
yeah, and so I adapted it to be able to fit to my prosthetic, and with this one and a phone, it's almost perfect weight.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So I this is what I usually run with. And yeah, I mean, always try to make. I mean, I'm trying to design like a running hand for perfection,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's an ongoing thing. This will evolve throughout my life, I guess.
Yeah. Evolve and innovate. That's wonderful.
Like, I remember our conversation on the subway where you were explaining to me the hand, and I remember you sharing this with me, but maybe you can share it with the audience. So you got the two metal probes. It's got the 16 sensors, but you can actually control the hand. Is it your mind sending out the electrical signals and the hands responding? Is that how it's working, like fundamentally?
Yeah, I'm going to share also the X-ray, so you can absolutely show it. But yeah, it's the sensors pick up the signals from different nerve endings,
Okay.
and with that you can steer the prosthetic arm. And yeah, I mean everything starts in the head, and it's like almost like plug and play, but you learn how to use it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean in some instances you don't even have to think, you just do, and
And it does.
works great. When it works great.
like everything. I loved your one video that you had where you were, after you had it, you were having a coffee and a donut with your friends, and you were
Yeah,
trying to pick up the donut. So you're probably like learning how to like control the arm to eat the donut. I was like, this is in real life. It was
yeah,
interesting to share that.
yeah, yeah. You have to learn like all the time is you learning. I mean, I this is like also like a philosophy I have, that you learn every day. I mean,
Hmm.
no matter how much you learn every day. You should learn every day at least, about life, about running, about everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's great. Well, Masoud, I know that yeah, we've had you for an hour here, and we've truly appreciated your time. We know what's next for you in terms of Boston, but anything else that we can share with the audience of your pursuits, or something that we can raise awareness of, just to get it on their radar as well, to support you, to support your journey, and your path to this next major here.
Yeah, so to the trying to get a bib for Boston, in that journey, I contacted so many people trying to get in, and finally I actually matched with the Stepping Strong Center for Trauma Care. And it was like a great match because I've been in a big trauma and survived. And the Stepping Strong Foundation is they were it was created after the Boston bombing, actually. And they do a lot for trauma research, and they developed like a new kind of amputation called the Ewing amputation. You can read about it. It's um, uh, to make an amputation and still have the muscles be functional afterwards. And they do a lot of educating of professionals who do work in trauma care. And so yeah, I'm fundraising for them. And if anybody could or would donate to my charity, that would be fantastic. I mean, any amount really helps. And yeah, I'm just trying to get together about $10,000. And it's for a great cause. And yeah, that's that's a great thing, I think. I hope so.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. We'll ensure we put that in the show notes as well to share with the audience.
Absolutely. And Masoud, where can folks find you on social media? What's the best way to locate you?
Well, so I am I'm Destination Marathon on Instagram. And with the not the marathon with the THON, it's a marathon with the TON. It's like a Swedish spelling.
Okay.
Uh, and yeah, that's the place I am mostly active. And people can write me there. I will answer everybody, I guess. And I mean, I have plans to start a YouTube channel, but I haven't done it yet. um, so yeah, I mean, in the future people can look for that. It will be called like Destination Marathon or Maze Pace or something like that.
Love it. Wonderful. Well, Masoud, we can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us. And we loved learning about you. We loved hearing about what you're working towards, and very inspiring. And we just can't thank you enough for taking the time to be with us this morning. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm privileged to be able to meet you guys and meet you again, Todd. And thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see the final result.
Awesome. We're going to be cheering for you. We're going to be watching for you in Boston. I'll get the tracker going and we're going to cheer you on. So, and you're going to have a great day. I know it. I can feel it. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Life can be hard, and we like to say the Renegade podcast can help. You know what also can help? Something truly transformative? Jesse Itzler's Running Man Festival. This isn't just an event. It's a 3-day immersion at Kingston Downs in Rome, Georgia, where you craft your own running adventure, sweat it out in the saunas, flow through yoga, absorb wisdom from world-class speakers, and vibe to live music under the stars. It's about recalibrating your mind, your body, and spirit in a community of like-minded souls, pushing boundaries. Jesse, if this resonates across the ether, I'm putting it out there. We'd be honored to join the tribe in September, sharing stories and inspiration. And if you're tuned in and you're connected to Jesse, whisper a kind word our way. Let's co-create this. Let's manifest. Dive deeper at runningmanfestival.com and connect with the Renegade. We're on YouTube, Instagram, on X, or shoot us an email, renegadepodcast@gmail.com. For more on endurance, mindset, and the path less traveled, stay tuned, stay inspired. We thank you for listening to the Renegade Podcast. Each episode, we dare to practice the lost art of conversation to better understand this thing we call life and the human connection that we have with running and endurance sport. If you enjoy the Renegade Podcast, could we ask for a favor? Head on over to our YouTube and click subscribe, and like our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Your engagement helps keep the Renegade Podcast growing and going. If you have a show idea, a comment, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email, renegadepodcast@gmail.com. That's RUNEGADE podcast@gmail.com. We have a great list of guests coming up that we're looking forward to sharing another conversation with you. Head on over to our link tree, check out our sponsors, our friends of the podcast. We have great discount codes that, thanks to them, they're offering you, the Renegade listeners, to save some money on the best running gear, apparel, fuel, and nutrition. We thank you for listening. And remember, in a world of runners, be a renegade.